Hey everyone, it's Dave Davlin and welcome to episode 6 of What's Your Handicap? And today we're going to talk about another way to move past your handicap, to continue on in spite of it and through it. And that is simply learning to get out of your comfort zone. You know, you can know the right thing to do and not do it because knowledge is not power, it's only potential power. It only becomes power when it's mixed with action. One of the best teachers I ever had at Texas A&M was my health professor. I don't remember his last name, but I can't forget his first name. It was Buzz. What I liked about this guy so much was he wasn't so much into grades, which was an advantage to me. He cared more that you learn the material. He was one of those kind of professors that if you didn't get the grade you wanted on a test, you could retake it as many times as you wanted until you got the grade you wanted because he was more concerned that you learn the material. Now I remember one day he walked in and he just drew a little circle on the board. He said, today we're going to talk about life and about comfort zones. And he says, when you're born, this represents your comfort zone. You can tie your shoes, you can comb your hair and brush your teeth. Later on, you learn to ride a bike. Maybe you learn to drive a car. You can handle anything inside of this, and it's easy for you and it's comfortable. He said, but life will not let you stay there. And he drew a little X above the circle. And he said, this represents a challenge life throws at you. Now you could do one of two things. You can ignore the challenge and keep living in that comfort zone, or you can step out and you can meet that challenge head on. He said what most people do is they learn to ignore the challenges, but life won't let you just stop with one. And he drew another one and another one and another one and another one. He said he gives you all kinds of challenges, and when you don't meet those, later on in life you learn that you're living in overwhelm and you're living in reaction. He said, but let me show you how it should be. And he drew the little circle again. He said, that's your comfort zone. Life hands you a challenge. You step out there and you meet that challenge head on and you conquer it. And now this becomes your comfort zone. And he drew another circle between that circle to where it met the X and came back around. He said, now your comfort zone has grown. He said, but life won't let you stay there. It hands you another one. And he drew another circle out here. And he said, you meet that one head on, and now your comfort zone grows again. And you do this throughout your entire life until as you grow, there's nothing in life you can't handle. And that is living a successful life. You know, when a young eagle learns to fly, it's quite the experience for the young eagle. He's been living in the nest his whole life. His mother's taken care of him. She's fed him. She's kept him warm. She's kept him safe. And he's very comfortable there. But he starts to notice something, that mama leaves the nest every day. And she has these little things on her body that she flaps and she can move throughout the air. And he starts thinking to himself, I wonder what it'd be like to do that. So the first thing he does, he just kind of steps on the side of the nest and he starts flapping his wings. He doesn't go anywhere, he just flaps his wings. Then he spots the first branch. And this is what's called branching with eagles. He doesn't really fly to the branch, he kind of hops to the branch as he flaps his wings, and he's successful and makes that one. Then he finds another one a little further away and he goes to that one. And he continues to do that as he builds up his strength and his confidence. And finally one day he says, forget the branches, and he just takes off flying, he takes off soaring, just like mama. You see, he was never meant to live in the comfort zone of that nest. He was meant to fly and he was meant to soar. But he had to first get out of that comfort zone. And here's the other thing, mama had to let it happen. Those of you who have kids, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. The first day you drop that kid off at daycare or maybe at kindergarten, and you watch them walk away with that fear and that uncertainty in their eyes, it hurt you. It was hard on you. And you look back and they were staring at you and you were staring at them, and inside you were going, no, no. Now they're in 8th grade and you're going, go, go. But it was tough on you. But you knew you had to do it because that kid would never learn to be on their own as long as they were in your nest and your comfort zone. You had to let them go. I remember watching a video on TV one time, actually a documentary about Chris Kyle, who was the soldier they did the movie American Sniper about. And Chris Kyle said, you know, a lot of people think I was a great athlete in high school. He said that wasn't true. He said, I really struggled in athletics. I had to really work at it. He said, but I noticed when I got to the SEAL program, the same struggles I had in high school in athletics were now helping me through the SEAL program. He said, and most of the guys that made it through the SEAL program were guys like me who had struggled throughout their entire life. But the All-Americans, the All-State guys that came in, that athletics had come easy for them, things had come easy, they didn't make it through because the first time in their life, they found something they could not just ease their way through, and they couldn't struggle, and they didn't make it through. He said, the guys like me are the ones that made it. You know, I love watching professional tennis on TV. I mean, these guys are great athletes. I love watching the huge events like the US Open, the Australian Open, maybe Wimbledon. And these guys are such great athletes, but if you look at these tennis players closely, they almost look a little deformed. I mean, you got a right-handed tennis player who uses his right hand for the forehand and the backhand. That forearm is huge, it's bulging, looks like a bodybuilder's forearm. But this left one looks like a stick. Because see, the thing is, the right one's the one that gets all the stress. The right one is the one that has to struggle, that gets all the play, and that's the one that grows. The same thing is true in life. If you go through life in that comfort zone and you don't struggle and you don't fight through life, you don't grow. See, just like that baby eagle, we were not meant to live in the comfort zone, that nest. We were meant to fly and we were meant to soar. But it only happens when we're willing to get out of the nest, we're willing to get out of the comfort zone. So the takeaway today is this. In the words of Jim Rohn, don't wish that things were easier, wish that you were better. If you take away a person's struggle, you take away their growth. The glory is and always has been in the struggle. Until next time, one life, one shot. Make it count.